Hey folks, welcome into the News 12 Now desk. Thanks for joining us here about 11:20 or so on our Thursday morning, and we are talking weather here. We are talking storm damage, and we are talking specifically the storm damage in Bamberg County. So we have Sydney Hood live in Bamberg right now. We've got Mikel Hannah-Harding live for us in the studio right now. We're going to get to both of them in just a second. First, though, I want to bring you up to speed on what's going on. So we had that first alert weather day on Tuesday. We saw some severe storms tear through our area, specifically Bamberg County. We know an EF2 tornado touched down there in Bamberg. So we had 4 crews out on the scene yesterday, bringing you the latest coverage and the recovery and cleanup efforts there. So we're going to play Sydney's story from last night to bring you up to speed on what's going on. And then we're going to have Sydney join us live, and we'll talk to Mikel about the weather from both Tuesday, and then we'll get into today and also tomorrow when we have another first alert weather day issued. So we'll start with Sydney's story from last night, and then we'll take her live out in Bamberg.
It's honestly just a heartbreaking scene down here in downtown Bamberg. Take a look at it for yourself. All of these bricks on the ground were once someone's business. One business owner told me they were actually in the process of renovating these old historic buildings. Now all that's left are these broken bricks on the ground and a lot of broken hearts. It's a painful sight knowing this rubble was once someone's entire life.
I was so close. I mean, I was 80+% done.
Harry Talmadge doesn't live in Bamberg, but he sees something here a lot of us tend to overlook.
There's a lot of potential in this town. There's a ton of potential. That's what brought me here.
This is what he was working with, buildings we'd likely overlook.
When I first bought that, I remember everybody being like, there's no way this is going to get fixed. You know, you're just wasting your time in Bamberg. And to get so close and then just have it smashed to pieces.
Look around. The entire town is in pieces.
Yeah, I remember that downtown area from back when I was a child. I mean, those buildings are the same as they've always been.
Bobby Beck's lived in Bamberg his entire life.
This is my mother and father-in-law's house, and I don't think they got any damage. I didn't see anything that was really damaged much here.
It's pure luck because if you look around at the rest of the town,
Kind of a devastating feeling. Like I said, my hometown's gone.
but the people that make this place home are still here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm going to stick with Bamberg.
It'll be weeks before this town gets a price tag on the damage out here, but that's nothing compared to the price of life, which everyone out here in Bamberg is very grateful to have.
All right, so there you heard from Sydney yesterday, and now we have Sydney Hood live for us in Bamberg. We also have Mikel Hannah-Harding live for us in, oh, hang on, let me get everybody pulled up here. We got Mikel Hannah-Harding live for us in the studio this morning. Mikel, I do want to start with you real quick. Tell us what we saw briefly on Tuesday in Bamberg.
Right, so around 2:45 p.m. There was a tornado warning that was already out, and at 2:45 is when they believed that an EF2 tornado touched down in Bamberg and then proceeded through downtown before lifting up and then just continuing off into other South Carolina counties, coastal South Carolina counties more so. But EF2 tornado with peak winds of 125 miles an hour. So just for comparison, that equates to the strongest winds that are found inside of a Category 3 major hurricane. So definitely very high winds that happen very quickly. And we saw, you know, very strong winds on radar, but we didn't necessarily see a debris signature, which indicated that there was a tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service also said that the width of the tornado was about 3 to 4 football fields wide, so 300 to 400 yards. So this was a massive swath of damage that happened very quickly, and it's just very heartbreaking to see that damage and, you know, the people affected, but also just heartwarming to see everybody kind of rally around that small town and try to help them plan to rebuild. It's going to take at least weeks, if not months, for them to rebuild. I would say months for sure, but they're in the process of, you know, getting insurance out, kind of surveying the place, and also they're going to be testing the structural integrity of some of those buildings downtown before they start the cleanup process to make sure that these buildings don't further collapse while people are trying to actively clean up the streets and everything like that. So it's definitely a very fluid situation down there. But Tuesday we did see an EF2 tornado with peak winds of 125 miles an hour touch down in Bamberg County around downtown and cause extensive damage.
Yeah, something that we're not really used to seeing, especially in one of our smaller areas like that, a town that really didn't need all of that damage. And we have Sydney Hood live there for us this morning. Sydney, you've kind of had boots on the ground here these last couple of days. Take us through what you've been seeing the last 24 hours and what people have been saying to you that you've spoken to.
Yeah, Nick, I've just been seeing a lot of trees down, a lot of damaged buildings, nothing in comparison to the downtown area. But I gotta say, you know, considering what this small town went through, we've got a lot of people out here that are choosing to stay positive and move on from this. I heard someone make a comment to me yesterday saying that they're starting the hashtag Bamberg Strong, and that's really kind of the vibes that I've been getting out here at least. I just got out here about 20 or so minutes ago, and already I am seeing crews out and about cleaning up the road. See, right now, I'll give you an example. I'm going to zoom in. Whenever I got out here, there was a huge tree in the middle of the road, and they've already got that cleaned off right now. I'm going to take you over this way. I'm just walking down one of the main highways here in town. We've got crews out here on a house tearing down a tree and cleaning up this yard. So it's very active out here right now, and they've been going at it all day today and all day yesterday. I mean, they were working all throughout the night, and just to kind of getting out here, I don't know if y'all remember yesterday, but there was a huge tree down in this yard right now. Like, I'm talking about the roots were up out of the ground and everything, and you see it's clean right now. So slow process to rebuild and clean up, but they and are lending a helping hand to one another. I was talking
Looks like we
to bring them food and just, you know, offer a helping hand. So, I mean, got a lot of people from out of town coming in to help these folks, but this community, you know, there's not a lot of them in here, but they are strong together for sure.
Yeah, and Sid, so the past couple of days, I think yesterday may have been a lot of shock, and people just can't really believe that this happened in their small town. Have you noticed a difference in feeling around there? I know when we talked to Will Volk yesterday morning, he said he didn't see a ton of crews out early yesterday trying to clean up. Maybe people still processing that. Have you noticed a different feeling between today and yesterday?
I was actually just thinking that to myself, how different the vibes are out here. Like yesterday, like you said, people were still kind of in a state of shock. They were still trying to process everything because, I mean, you look at those pictures and videos from the downtown area and you saw those bricks scattered. I mean, those are historic buildings. I was talking to a lifelong Bamberg resident yesterday, and he was like, you know, those bricks go back to the turn of the 19th century. He's lived here 60 years, and those buildings stayed the same his entire life. So to look at it just completely shattered right now was just so heartbreaking for him and everyone else who lives in this town. So again, yesterday was kind of one of those days where you just have to process it all and just kind of, you know, come to terms with the fact that this is going to be a lot for us. We're going to have to do a lot of cleaning up and a lot of recovery efforts, and that's exactly what they're doing today. I'm seeing a lot of boots on the ground, not to use a cliche there, but that is exactly what I'm seeing. Got a lot of crews out here, a lot of local roofing companies out here, so it's almost like the town is coming together to help rebuild the town. It's really kind of neat to see everyone out here today.
And we know there was a couple meetings, or at least one meeting yesterday about 10 o'clock, and then there was a press conference at 2 o'clock. What came out of that? What are city officials saying to the people as they go through this tragedy?
Main message I got out of that was, you know, these city officials want people to know that, you know, they're there for them. I just saw the mayor drive past me, so she is out still observing the damage. Got a couple of city officials at that house behind me I showed y'all earlier, so they're out looking at it, you know, being there for residents. But the biggest thing when I turn the camera around is avoiding this downtown area. That's kind of, to me, going to be kind of the last place that they look at here, because all those bricks on the ground, they aren't too sure, you know, the stabilization of these buildings. So, you know, they're not letting anybody pass those caution tapes right there because they don't know those buildings are going to collapse, how stable it is. So that's kind of the big message there, and just, you know, letting folks know that we're here for you. You know, whatever you need, call us any time of the day. And another neat thing I was noticing too is, you know, a lot of these city officials are townspeople, but like they're also going through this. These folks are Talking with the PIO, the public information officer, who of course we always have to go through whenever we need someone to talk to in town, and she just started her job here about a month ago, and she was telling me yesterday how the tornado came whipping through town, of course, and then those winds caused a tree to land on top of her house, and she's going through the same thing that folks in town are going through. So it's we're all in this together. We will all get through this together.
And this is sort of a unique set of circumstances here, and I want to bring in Mikel for this because they had this severe weather on Tuesday, and now we're looking at more severe weather tomorrow. So, Sid, stick with us here for a second. I just want to bring Mikel in here to ask, Mikel, what exactly can we expect tomorrow, specifically in Bamberg?
Well, area-wide, we do have the first alert weather day issue because we are just talking about the potential of some of those stronger tornadoes once again, and also severe wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. Now, when it comes to Bamberg in particular, it is difficult to pinpoint exactly the exact occurrence of when these storms are going to happen and where. So I can't necessarily say that Bamberg is going to be okay tomorrow, but I also can't say that they're going to get hit again necessarily by a tornado or severe wind gust. But everyone has that threat, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We can take graphics full, Nick.
I can't take graphics full because I got you and Sydney occupying the
boxes.
Yeah. So
well, you can see it behind me. This brown shading right here across the entire CSRA is not a good sign for us, and it's once again level 3 out of 5 risk, so it's an enhanced risk for severe weather tomorrow, with the main threats being the possibility of an isolated strong tornado, also those damaging wind gusts, again over 60 miles an hour. And we also have a hail threat and a low-level flash flood threat that does favor some of our northern counties. But actually, moving past that graphic, but looking at the severe wind outlook for tomorrow, you can see it is a 30% hatched area. These slash lines, we call them hatch marks. So that means that within 25 miles of any point inside of that pink shaded area, the potential for wind gusts to get over 74 miles an hour, which is category 1 strength in terms of a hurricane, is possible. So some very strong winds could be inside of some of these severe thunderstorms if they are able to get going. We also have this 10% hatch risk for tornadoes, and that hatch marking indicates the possibility of EF2 or greater tornadoes. And again, the tornado that struck Bamberg was an EF2. So EF2 can do a lot of damage, and it gets worse, EF3, EF4, and EF5. So those are all going to be possible tomorrow. Again, not a guarantee that we're going to see any of that actually materialize, but the potential is there. And as far as that hail outlook, it is about a level 2 out of 5, and thankfully no hatch markings indicating extremely large hail, but the potential for some hail around 1 inch in diameter and maybe even a little bit bigger does look to be there. But as far as looking at the threat for power outages tomorrow, I don't think it'll be quite as high as it was with our last system, because the overall wind field here should be a little bit lower. So we're looking at those wind gusts probably closer to about 30 miles an hour or over that, and also those rainfall totals not quite as high, so the ground may have had some time to dry out over the past 24 to 36 hours or 24 to 48 hours ahead of this next system, and we don't expect just continuous rainfall tonight leading up into tomorrow. But just looking at the hour by hour very quickly, we are going to see just a cloudy start to our Friday. Some of us could see some sunshine though, waking up, and temperatures in the 30s to low 40s. As we approach midday, we could see the potential for a few scattered showers swinging through, and then we'll see a first round of possible storms in between about 2 to 5 p.m. These latest model updates though, to be honest with you guys, have been improving and showing a little bit less of intense storms, or less coverage of intense storms. So that's good news that we're seeing that trend. And as we look closer to about in between 6 to 10, we'll see an actual cold front swinging through behind a warm front that gives us that first wave of potential severe weather. And you can see at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, we could be looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. So that's very abnormal and definitely a sign of a very strong system moving in. And these little isolated pockets of storms could become what's called supercells, and that's where that tornadic threat would lie. So the Storm Prediction Center has been putting out in their discussions the possibility of discrete supercells, as they call them, which is just those isolated tornado-producing thunderstorms. But as we continue to move through closer to about 9:30, 10, this system is starting to depart. So it's a very quick-moving system. It does look to impact us for the second half of our Friday. So a little bit of a different setup from Tuesday, where we had a line of storms that moved through for the first half of the day, and the second half weather improved, just stayed breezy. This time we're going to see a better start to the first half of the day, then conditions kind of deteriorate as we get into your Friday afternoon, evening, and night, and then we'll see conditions quickly improving by Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, temperatures right back down towards the 30s. Those cold starts do return, and it'll be very breezy for our Saturday as well. We're looking at wind gusts still elevated around 30 miles an hour. But Nick, I'll kind of pause right there. Don't want to, I know we still got Sid on standby.
Yeah, just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're expecting tomorrow as well, because again, sort of this unique set of circumstances. These people have a couple days to recover, and then they're going back into preparation mode, Sid. So that's got to be on the front of everybody's minds. What are you hearing as they gear up for now some more severe weather?
Yeah, they are very much aware that, tomorrow is coming, whether they, ready or not, here it comes type of sort of thing is what I'm hearing from folks. So they're doing the best that they can do to prepare, but it's just almost like, we've got 48 hours roughly to clean up, all of this, and then we don't know what's going to come tomorrow. We don't know exactly, if it's going to bring in more damage to the town or what. So folks right now, they're just on standby. They are very much aware. I've heard a couple of folks say they've been keeping up with our coverage. We had one guy tell us yesterday that we saved him with our coverage. Like because of us, he was prepared. He knew what to expect. So, people are paying attention to us. They know what's coming, and, they're doing the best that they can do right now is, basically what I'm hearing from folks. But I want to give you a look at downtown right now. Let me actually turn my phone around. But it's absolutely devastating just to look at this. It doesn't matter how many times I've come out to this exact same spot. I was actually just talking with someone. I don't know if you saw a man behind me here. He just comes out here and he was just staring at it like he just is in such shock and belief that this is his downtown right now. These are people's businesses right now. That furniture store that you're looking at right there, it still has furniture on the inside, and it's someone's livelihood. These business owners pour their heart and soul into these places, and then now it's nothing but crumbled bricks. And then I also want to mention, that Bamberg was working to restore this downtown area. They were working to renovate this place. Like you can see the fresh new windows right there. I was talking with the guy who is renovating that top floor right there, and he literally just installed those windows like 2 weeks ago. So it's all fresh. You can still see the drywall up there. Like he was ready to roll with this business. He was telling me he's planning on opening in the summer. He was about 80% done, and then now he's back to where he started on the ground. Like he just doesn't know where to even begin. It's just one of those things where you have to play it day by day. But this is where they're at right now. They kind of move past that shock stage and know that, they have to move on from this. They will move on from this. But then going back to tomorrow, they know that something is coming with the weather, and they just know that, they can do the best that they can do to prepare. And I've heard a lot of people say we just got to pray about it. It's basically what these folks are doing. They're standing strong together.
Yeah, and we've seen that community come together in a big way and support one another, whether that's emotionally or going out and chopping a tree down that fell in their yard. So it is pretty incredible the resilience that these people have, and hopefully this next storm that comes through isn't as bad. But Sid, we will let you get back to it here. I know you've got a long day ahead getting all this recovery stuff done. So we appreciate you giving us that inside look, and we look forward to hearing from you coming up later on tonight on News 12. All right, Sydney Hood live there for us this morning, and now we will take it back to Mikel, where we will look at, actually before we do that, I do want to pull up one piece of video that we had from yesterday. This is from our Sky 12 drone. You can see the over-the-top view of downtown Bamberg. So this is what Sydney was looking at. This is what she was looking at on the ground level. And now we're giving you a view of it over top. So you can just see the tops of buildings completely ripped off. Mikel, this isn't the type of stuff that we normally see around our area.
No, this is definitely not normal. And when I saw that damage, I definitely was thinking at least EF2, maybe even EF3. So I wasn't surprised with the rating that the National Weather Service gave this tornado, and it's just very, for lack of a better word, I would say astonishing. I was going to say impressive, just because of how quick this tornado happened and the amount of damage that it was able to cause.
And I don't want to cut you off, but we do have the video actually showing how quickly this tornado did happen. We have a business from down. I don't know exactly where this is from, but you can see here. You see pieces of building come down, and then your screen's gonna get very difficult to see here in a second. And that's what we think is the tornado ripping through. And you kind of see, you saw that flash of brown. I think that's the bricks that we saw from Sydney. I think that's what that is.
Yep, all those bricks in the street right there.
Yeah, so, and it happens, like you said, it happened really quickly. Like there were cars right there just seconds before. I'll play it again.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, you see these cars right here, pretty much even with this lamp post, and then watch how quickly this all goes down.
I mean, I don't know if those people drove straight into the tornado. I don't even know why they were out there. Like, man, that is terrible. I'm just glad they didn't get hurt, though.
Yeah. And Mikel, we do.
But that's what you don't want to do, folks.
Yeah, and look at that. There were cars between the camera and this first light post. And if you look out to that second light post, now that's where all those bricks are. So these cars were just seconds away from a very big problem.
Exactly.
And that's why we talk about, too, it's pretty remarkable that there were no serious injuries or deaths reported because some people were very close to it. I know we had another story that we did. I cannot remember who did it, where there was someone had just renovated an Airbnb or was in the process of renovating an Airbnb, and someone was in that house when it collapsed, and he said he just kind of laid on the ground and just tried to get as low to the ground as he could. And
that was
was it Hallie's story?
I think that was Hallie's story.
Well, I have it here. We'll go ahead and play it real quick. I'm pretty sure this is the story.
Damage, miracles, and grace. Words those in the city of Bamberg are using to describe the aftermath of Tuesday's EF2 tornado.
The grace of God is what we're looking at today.
Broken glass, paint sheetrock, and an Uno card are all that's left of what would have soon been Craig Walker's remodeled Airbnb.
When I came over to see the structure in its present state, brought a tear to my eye because we had been working on this place.
And for the man who was inside, Walker says wild is an understatement for what he experienced.
Volatility of the rains came through along with the winds, and he had to make some rash decisions. He felt the roof coming down. The bottom started to drop as well. Then he laid down flat. This young man is extremely lucky, and God was certainly on his side.
And neighbor Robert Crosby says God was on his family's side too, as trees took over his cars and home.
And my family is safe, and my mom and dad, and we all are still living, so, you know, we blessed for life. Everything else can be replaced, so we're not worrying about the material stuff.
And as they both look around at the damage citywide, they are reminded how lucky they are to live in a small town.
People that are stopping and saying, hey, are you okay? Can I offer a helping hand? I'm not surprised.
And soon they will build back a better Bamberg.
I'm sure we'll come back stronger, bigger, and better.
In Bamberg, Hallie Turner, on your side.
So there you go. You heard it. That was the story we were talking about. Someone had to lay down in that house that you saw was pretty much completely destroyed.
Yes. That is a miracle.
And I know there was a business owner who I believe also rode out the storm in his business, just kind of huddled in a closet or in a bathroom, something like that. And that was like the first place the tornado had touched down. That was where the most damage was. It was a tire shop or a barrel shop, I believe.
Exactly. I think Will did that story.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and talk about now the rest of what you were getting to, the forecast here. And we do have graphics now if you want to pull those up.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just showing this flash flood risk. I didn't get to show the correct one last time. So this is the flash flood risk for it's a marginal risk, so as low as it can be, and it only includes some of our northern counties, basically along I-20 and northward, I'd say. So thankfully, not looking at a widespread flooding risk with this system. Again, the speed of the system kind of definitely helps out with that a lot, and just not expecting a lot of rainfall overall. But when we do see those storms, possibly they could have those severe wind gusts in them, and also the possibility of some stronger tornadoes. So I'll go again and show just kind of this hour by hour look at today into tomorrow. We're starting off around right now, moving towards midday. we're going to see temperatures today around 60 for highs, so it'll be a beautiful Thursday. We are seeing a good bit of cloud cover, though. This model right here keeps us a lot sunnier than what we're actually seeing. As we continue, though, towards Friday morning, we'll see more clouds building in for sure, but temperatures still around those 30s, so a little bit chilly starting off for your Friday morning. As we head towards the afternoon, we'll see temperatures around the 50s for midday. A few widely scattered showers out there, I'd say, but as we continue towards in between about 2 to 5 p.m., we'll see our first round of storms pushing through, associated with a warm front that'll be lifting through the area. So you can see temperatures really continue to warm even past sunset into the mid to upper 60s possibly as we're approaching about 8 p.m. And then there's the potential again for another round of severe weather as we head towards the evening and nighttime hours as that cold front does make its passage and kind of interacts with that very warm and unstable air ahead of it possibly. So really depending on how much can we destabilize the atmosphere and just if the ingredients come together, we could see possibly a few of these severe thunderstorms. But you can see this model doesn't show a lot of, red and orange and yellow, which is good. We have seen improving trends as of today, because yesterday when I was showing these model runs, it showed a lot more, I will say. So that is one positive thing that I can say out of everything in terms of us having to do this first alert weather day again for tomorrow. As of now, if this model were to play out, it doesn't look to be quite as active or bad as it was on Tuesday, but the potential is there. Things can change, and we are going to continue to monitor this very closely, and you should as well. But that's pretty much the outlook. Today is going to be a beautiful day. As we do continue into your Friday, that's when things kind of switch up on us, especially for the second half of your Friday. You can see the first half starts off on the drier side, and it will be a chilly start again for tomorrow. But here's a look at our overall severe risk. It is a level 3 out of 5, and tomorrow is a first alert weather day. As a result, an enhanced risk that does include the threat for tornadoes and damaging winds primarily. We do have the potential for wind to get over 74 miles an hour inside of that pink shaded area with those vertical lines that we call hatch marks. So that's never good to see. And also concerning is the fact that we have the hatch marks with that tornadic threat, which is a level 3 out of 5, mind you, and those hatch marks do mean that we could see an EF2 or greater tornado anywhere within 25 miles of any point inside of that yellow shaded area. And we also have to worry about hail as well, about a 2 out of 5 chance that we see those larger hailstones around an inch or even greater. So this is the prime time to download our weather app. If you haven't done so already, you can scan the QR code that's about to pop up on your screen. It'll take you to the App Store if you have an iPhone, or the Play Store if you have an Android. But this is a fantastic tool to have that travels with you. And even when you lose power, if your phone is charged up, you'll still have a way to receive alerts and check out our latest updates on the forecast and what's actively happening. You can also submit pictures and videos through the app, which we love to see, and it's very helpful for us to get some ground truth to what's going on outside around us. But as far as the 7-day forecast, things do improve quickly for Saturday and Sunday. Staying breezy though Saturday, we could see those winds still gusting around 30. MLK Day, the possibility of a few more showers, but not tracking a storm threat right now. So not talking about round 3 of severe weather, which is great. And then check out Tuesday and Wednesday. High temperatures in the 40s, and Wednesday morning we could be starting off in the mid to low 20s. So a big cool down on the way, and winter is going to remind us that it is winter as we get towards the middle of next week.
Man, low or waking up in the mid 20s, that doesn't sound ideal.
That's rough.
That is
Yeah.
rough. That is rough. That's
rough.
Scrape the frost off your car, kind of rough, and wear a couple jackets, maybe a hat and gloves too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bundle up.
All right. Well, we got to get through tomorrow first before we start worrying about all that. So hopefully it's not as bad. I know you said it was looking a little bit more favorable than it did yesterday. So hopefully that trend continues and the weather holds out a little bit for us. All right, folks, we'll go ahead and wrap things up there. We do have the midday newscast coming up at the top of the hour. Mikel, we appreciate it as always. I'm sure we'll be talking much more tomorrow with that first alert weather day going into effect. And yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap things up, folks. Appreciate you tuning in.
Sounds good.